I have been waiting to make this video for months and months and months, but I still feel superstitious talking about it. Still feel, even though we're like this close to it actually happening, I still feel like when I talk about it, something's gonna go wrong and it's all gonna come crashing down. So if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen within the last couple days that we moved out of our apartment. I'm not in my usual setting. We are back at my mom's house. Yes, you heard me correctly. I'm 30 years old. I just married my high school sweetheart 5 months ago, and we moved in with my mom over the weekend. There is a reason for that, and the reason is we've had a big secret for a long time. We found out about, I think like 5 days before our wedding, really close to the wedding, when all this hype for the wedding's happening, and we get, boom, hit with this very exciting news. Ken got into another school. So we are taking off on another big adventure. So we've been home from London. If you don't follow my channel, we've been home from London for about 1.5 years. Ken was in London for 2 years, and I was there for 1 year. We've been home for 1.5 years, got married somewhere in the middle there, and now we are taking off to Europe again. Yeah, we're moving to Europe. That sounds so weird to be saying that now. Oh my god. I really hope nothing goes wrong at this point. That's our big secret. I did vlog our whole moving process, but that's basically why I've been gone from the internet right now. It's consumed my world. It hasn't been an easy journey getting here. It wasn't like, oh, he's into school, we're going. It was, we found out he got into school 5 months ago, but we didn't actually know if we were for sure going until a couple weeks ago, and we're leaving in less than 2 weeks now. So it's a really tight timeline. It was always like maybe, maybe, it looks like we're not going. Okay, yes, we are going. Start, stop, like a roller coaster of emotions. It's really weird not knowing if you're actually leaving the country or not within a few weeks. But I had to just wait it out. Luckily, not all my hair fell out, but most of it fell out, it feels like. So once we found out that he got into school, he had to pass a few language exams, and he had the basic language, but he had to do a lot of studying for it. He had tutors and online tutors. He basically wasn't working. He was studying most of the time, and thankfully did make it through both of them. But I remember there was days at work where I was scrubbed, so I can't reach into my pockets, I can't see my phone. I'm scrubbed for 8 hours and I can feel my phone going bzz, 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 and I know that's the day that he's gonna get his exams back, his marks back, telling us basically whether we're moving to Europe or not. Oh my god, it was a stressful time. And on top of that, he has been going on these treks trying to get ready for interviews and potential jobs down the road. So he's been out of the country a lot. He was in New York for a whole week, then he was in London for a whole week. He's been in and out of Toronto. He is maybe going back to Toronto. Yeah. And because he was on all these different treks and in and out of the country, he obviously needed his passport. We had to get our visas, our tourist visas and student visas in order to make sure, like in my head, I know for sure they're gonna let me in the country. But it was hard to do that because he was always in and out of the country. So we had to time it kind of with when he was gonna be in the country and his exam times, and okay, you're home for 10 days, let's get your visa in. Hopefully it's back within 10 days for your flight. Everything was a really tight timeline. But I finally picked up my visa. Mine was the last one to come through. I got it a couple days ago. So I have my passport in hand. Ken has his passport. All the exams are done. We have an apartment in our new city. Flights are booked. So I feel like it's finally all coming together. The other side of this was that I basically had to be a big question mark for my job because I was meant to be doing a bunch more training in the cardiac room, and I had to basically tell them, look, Ken got into school and we're likely going, but we're not totally sure if it's happening yet. And they were actually totally fine with it. I even talked to my manager a few weeks before I left. I was like, I still don't know if we're leaving. I'm really sorry, but it might be like, instead of 2 weeks notice, it might be like 6 days notice if I'm leaving or not. She was ridiculously supportive. I have like the best manager ever. She was like more interested in what we were doing and what Ken was studying and what we're gonna be doing abroad and stuff than worrying about trying to fill my position. She kindly gave me another leave of absence, so my job is secure for when we return, if we return, we'll see. Yeah, so I left my job on December 7th. That was my last day. It was really sad. I kind of vlogged all that leading up to it, kind of hanging up my nursing shoes for a little while. yeah, so those vlogs will be coming very soon, as well as our whole moving process. And then we also had to give super short notice on our apartment because we couldn't give a full month's notice. We didn't know a month out if we were going to be going or not. And on top of that, I was going to have to sell everything we owned, basically. We're going with one carry-on, one large suitcase only. We had to sell everything we owned all over again. And I couldn't start selling anything until we knew that we were going. So I was like constantly like, are we going? I need to like sell all this stuff in a hurry. And I didn't want to start selling things and giving notice to my job in our apartment if it all came crumbling down and we weren't going. Yeah, luckily everyone wanted all our stuff and we sold basically our whole apartment overnight. Unfortunately, that was when Ken was in London during his trek, so I had to do all of that. And I kind of did a slow move to Mom's house here, bringing a load of stuff every day or twice a day for a couple weeks. And then we did the big move over the last weekend. So yeah, it's been a crazy time. I've basically been unpacking boxes here at Mom's place for the last day and a half. It took me like 8 hours the first day of just solid unpacking with a glass of wine in hand, and then another good 4 hours yesterday of reorganizing all this stuff, getting our clothes put away. It's kind of like 2 moves within 2 weeks because we have to move into Mom's house, get rid of everything we don't want, donate all of it, get settled here so we're not just living in boxes, and then we have to pack everything we want for our big trip away out of what we've just unpacked into here. So it's crazy. But I'm super excited for where we're going. There's gonna be a whole nother video on where we're going and answering a few questions that I think I'll probably get, things that people will be wanting to know, as well as blog posts to go along with that. It's gonna feel really good to have this off my chest because I feel like I couldn't Instagram stories, I couldn't really blog that well because like this was consuming our everyday life. Like this is all we've talked about since we got married basically. So I found it really hard to keep up with the YouTube and the blog. I didn't want to fake it, you know, like this was my real life. I was on the edge of my seat basically for the last 5 months. My hair was falling out, like literally clumps of hair was falling out. I was so stressed out. I'm not pregnant, if that's what you were wondering was going to be in this video. Definitely not pregnant. So I think that's all I have to share in this video. Just a little secret, we're leaving the country again. Super exciting. Watch out for all our moving vlogs, leaving work vlog. Oh, I did a house tour before we sold everything too, so that's coming up. And I'll tell you where we're heading very, very soon. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.